I think to me, the ugliness of structural racism is that its tentacles extend deeply into every facet of life. So no matter what your issue is, if you investigate the history of it, education, housing, the judicial system, anything that you look at, it's going to intersect with racism and with policy. And I think the work that you're talking about is critical, and it begins, I think, with a far better understanding of history than we generally have. We tend to scratch the surface. We tend to look at incidents as being isolated or as being connected only to what is still in our recent memories. So, when the latest incident of police brutality, violence, the latest unprovoked death of a black person at the hands of law enforcement happens, we still view that as outrageous, which it is, but also aberrational, which it is not, right? As being against policy as opposed to being policy, as opposed to being the fruits of the tree of policy that was planted, several hundred years ago and has been watered consistently ever since. And I think it's going to take a shift in the way that we view these things to get to the root in the way that you're talking about. And, it doesn't sound sexy to talk about history or to talk about an enhanced understanding of, how did hundreds of years of housing policy lead to redlining, lead to disenfranchisement, lead to the current, stratification that we look at. But if we don't embrace that and look at it and dig deep into it, we're not going to be able to talk about policy, because you can't talk about policy in the present or the future without going all the way back into the past, right? So, it's got to, on some level, start there.
I disagree. I don't. I just want to say that. Just sounded good, did it? I think that's true. I think it is hard to go down history's path because people start to get for me, this goes back to the comedy thing. I totally agree. So I'm doing yes and like improv taught me. Hearts and minds. You win the heart, you can get to the mind, and I feel like that's what comedy is about. It's about when I feel like the Black Lives Matter campaign is about winning the heart to get to the mind. That when you say hashtag Black Lives Matter, you're sort of challenging somebody to go, what does that statement feel like to you? And some people are like, White Lives Matters. Got it. You're a racist. But that statement is not about, it doesn't contain the policy information. It doesn't contain the structural information you're talking about. It's a provocative hashtag that immediately says, where does that land on you? And where it lands on you tells you a lot about yourself. So to me, the thing that's happening at the University of Missouri is about the hearts. Hunger strike. Not lecture strike. Not I'm going to lecture. Not filibuster, which happens in the government. You're like, who gives a shit how long Rand Paul talks? Hunger strike, which leads to football players. We're not going to play football. Wait a minute, maybe this is a problem. That leads to the president going, maybe you guys, I should probably not be here anymore, and the chancellor. That's the part to me that gets to. It's about finding ways with organizations that want policy, figuring out a way to distill the policy into an issue that hits people in the heart. Marriage equality is only happening right now, not because we logically proved it, but because it hit people in the heart. And the Supreme Court is like, we don't want to look like assholes in history, which is literally, I feel like, what happened. I'm a conservative, I don't look like an asshole in history. So for me, it's about, and this is how I talk with a lot of organizations and activists about, they sort of come to me and go, here, can you make this policy funny? And it's not, and no, I can't. I actually can't. I can't actually. Let me just so before you email me tonight, I can't do it. But if we get to the heart of the matter, that I can probably mess with. That you have to figure out whatever your policy position is, how do you get to the heart and distill of the matter of what the thing is, so that people walking out there who aren't coming in here, who are walking up like right there, what's going on in there? Anti-racism. Thank you. That doesn't sound like something, but how do you get to those people to go, no, this is an important thing? Whereas and that's what's happening. That's what Barack Obama did, whether we like him or love him or how you feel about him. That's what Barack Obama did. Every politician who wins the presidency manages to get to the heart of the country more than the other politician does. which is that's all Donald Trump is doing. He hasn't said one thing that makes any sense, but he's getting to the heart of the people he's talking to.
Yeah.